Hello, everybody. This is Andrew Alvarez, and I'm the Latino Conservative. Today, we're going to talk about the confirmation of Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. Yesterday, in a landslide, 48-52 vote. Yeas, 52. Nays, 48. Judge Amy Coney Barrett was confirmed to the Supreme Court, and shortly thereafter, Judge Clarence Thomas swore her in. Right away, I could tell that what happened is what I said is going to be happening. The Democrats voted, all of them voted no. And they didn't vote because of qualifications. In fact, she was probably the most qualified person out there for this spot. No, they didn't vote for qualifications. They voted to try to illegitimize the process, the constitutional process. You know, the constitutional duties that the president has to appoint a Supreme Court justice, the constitutional duty and the right that Senate has to confirm said judge. They could either confirm her or reject her, but either way, that's their job. Their job is to confirm or reject based off of qualifications. Now, Judge Amy Coney Barrett, or ACB, she went through the rigors of the Democratic Party. And quite honestly, good. I'm glad they went to try to vet her, but at the end of the day, they weren't vetting her. They were trying to vet the process. There was nothing illegal in what the Republicans were doing by pushing the vote through. Some have said it is immoral. Immoral doesn't mean illegal. There are people out there that would think same-sex marriages are immoral, therefore they should be illegal. There's other people that says doesn't matter if they're immoral, they're illegal, so we're going to do it. However you see, whichever side you land on, that is your belief. However, as it is right now, they are perfectly legal. No one can say that I cannot go get married to Charles. No one. It's not my choice, so I won't go do that. But you get my point. There is no law out there that says Senate cannot confirm a judge during an election year. Even though it is close, I will say election day is not very far away at all. About a week away. But there's nothing illegal about it. The president is the president the entire time he is the president until January 21st, which is Inauguration Day. Then, if he were to lose against President Kamala Harris and Vice President Joe Biden, his presidency would end at that point in time, which means after November 3rd, he is still the president until Inauguration Day. There is no clause, no terms in the Constitution at all that says he stops being the president before then. So he is doing his job. But the Democrats are trying to tear down the Constitution by illegitimizing this process that was set out by our forefathers and the people who framed the Constitution, the people later on who amended the Constitution. And right away, you have people like AOC saying, we need to expand the bench. No. 9 has worked. 9 will work. And anything beyond that is you packing the court. That is the definition of packing the court. Occupy Democrat, which is an organization run by 2 twins out of Mexico, go figure. They right away started saying that she wasn't qualified for the job. Now, they've got a pretty decent following, and they are staunch Trump haters, never Trumpers, staunch Democrat people. And you know what? That's their right to be so. However, right away, they started saying she wasn't qualified. And I think Facebook took it down. And the reason I'm saying this is because I went to go look for it during this episode right before so I can do a screenshot. I saw it there. I made a comment on it, but it's gone. Is Facebook finally starting to be neutral or play fairly? Maybe just a hint? Because that's a lie. There's nothing said that says that she isn't qualified. In fact, she is, like I said before, she's probably the most qualified person for the job. But it's gone. Either Occupy Democratic took it down or Facebook took it down. One or the other. Either way, it's gone. But you have opinions like that. Then you still have the rhetoric saying that she is going to go and take away health care. She is going to take away protections for pre-existing conditions. That is a lie. Those need to be eliminated as well. When she was asked on her stance about taking out the Affordable Care Act, well, she couldn't really give a full opinion on it yet because it is something that could go to legislation pretty soon before her, which is also the same reasoning and the same answer that each and every justice prior to her gave. They cannot give an opinion on something that may be in legislation before them. They can't. But she gave a good example. There's not necessarily the attempt to take the entire act out, but maybe just a little bit of it. If the whole American Affordable Health Care Act can't stand with one piece taken out, then let it so be. What they are trying to do is maybe like a Jenga set, if she put it that way. You have your set of blocks out there. The goal is to take one block out without making the whole tower tumble, the tower being the clause. But you have out here tweets like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Republicans do this because they don't believe Dems have the stones to play hardball like they do. And for a long time, they've been correct. But do not let them bully the public into thinking their bulldozing is normal, but a response isn't. There is a legal process for expansion, and she is talking about expanding the courts right away. This seat that was filled legally and constitutionally, she wants to, quote, really and truly illegitimize that seat by adding more. Right now, there's a court of 9, and that prevents a stalemate. You will always have at least a 5-4 vote. Supreme Court, a lot of times, actually doesn't even vote on partisan lines like that. They vote on the legality part. They're there to help make sure that clauses and bills and cases are taken care of constitutionally. Hillary Clinton tweeted, Senate Republicans just pushed through the Supreme Court justice who will help them take away Americans' health care in the middle of a pandemic. For them, this is a victory. Vote them out. She is lying. Twitter needs to take that off because that is a lie. She specifically said that she cannot opt on anything about that. Plus, she is not trying to take it away. Maybe portions of it, I can see that, but not all of it. The portions that make the average American go from having a $500 premium per month to a $2,000 premium per month. I know. People have reached out to me and said that. Kamala Harris, top cop Kamala Harris. Today, Republicans denied the will of the American people by confirming a Supreme Court justice through an illegitimate process, all in their effort to gut the Affordable Care Act and strip health care from millions with pre-existing conditions. We won't forget this. So, presidential candidate Kamala Harris is lying as well because it was the American people's choice. Elections have results. Elections have consequences. The American people voted Republican in the 2016 and 2018 Senate elections. So the Republican Party voted. We won't forget this. You're absolutely right. I believe there's going to be a lot of good things come out of this. And I really do believe that after you lose the presidential elections, president candidate Kamala Harris, the person that likes to plagiarize my information and send me ceases and desists, that likes to incarcerate the people she says she's protecting, top cop Kamala Harris. Once this election is over, I really do believe your campaign and your seat is going to go to the wayside. But I don't know. You live in San Francisco. At least that's the area that you represent, San Francisco, which is home to Silicon Valley. I've said it before. Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Twitter. I think you're tied in. You and Nancy Pelosi are tied in some sort of way because that's your area. So let's look at some of these headlines, how the headlines are written. NPR, Amy Coney Barrett confirmed to Supreme Court, takes constitutional oath. Plain and simple, no mess, no fuss about it. Great. So let's look at CNN. Now, NPR can be a little left-leaning sometimes, and I'm glad that they kept the headline that way. But you have CNN. Associate Justice Amy Coney Barrett sworn in and greeted with request to recuse herself in an election year. Already asking for recusal. Why? Because the president that they don't like nominated her? Orange man bad. I think CNN needs to recuse themselves because they're not news. They are media. They're op-ed. The Washington Post. Oh, here's one on Fox News. Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation is proof that we need a Biden victory in 2020. Well, first, that's a lie because it's not going to be a Biden victory. It's going to be a Harris victory. Joe Biden isn't going to be the president for the full 4 years. He's not. Bloomberg. The Supreme Court needs reform. No, you know what really needs reform? I'm going to make another video on this here pretty soon, but Section 230. That needs reform. If you're unfamiliar with Section 230, it's what gives Facebook, Twitter, YouTube the chance and the capabilities to censor what they want because it is objective. I'm getting more into that in another video. New York Times says, Amy Coney Barrett and the Republican Party's Supreme Court. So the reason I'm saying those headlines is because those are obvious endorsements for the Democratic Party. But, forgive me if I'm wrong, a news source shouldn't endorse a candidate. Right away, as soon as they make that endorsement, they're showing bias in their reporting. They're saying, we stand with the left side or we stand with the right side. They are not just giving the news. A news source is supposed to give us the information and let us make the decision. Fox News, Fox and Friends, they're doing the same thing. And I can't say that I totally agree with their methodology because they will put a right side, heavy influenced right side spin on it. Now, logically wise, I will say the information that they give or the opinions, because really and truly when it comes down to it, the left side gives the news, the right side gives the opinion on the news. Their opinions are, the right side's opinions is more in line with what is actually true. Because one thing that the Democrats are real good at, especially with these headlines like this, they're real good at putting a label on something, then they'll repeat it over and over and over again and make it true. Now, just because that jar in my refrigerator has a ragu label on it does not mean that the contents of it isn't salsa, or that bluebonnet tub in the refrigerator doesn't have leftover beans in it. So what I'm saying is, just because you call something, just because the left media calls something, and just because the Democratic Party says the process was illegitimate, doesn't mean it was illegitimate. They are trying to take away the Constitution. They are trying to break it up. It is obvious the left wants to do that and turn us into a socialist country. Look what they're doing with our freedom of speech. It's gone away. Look what they're doing with our freedom of religion. California is shutting down churches. California is shutting down utilities to churches because they are worshiping. They're trying to take away our Second Amendment rights. They're trying to take away our rights and our freedoms little bit at a time. And if they're to be successful in illegitimizing this process, that would have been a victory for them. And what other rights could they take away from us? Think about it. Don't just go with a narrative. The narrative sounds good. You can get free stuff with the narrative. But what's right? My name is Andrew Alvarez, and I'm the Latino Conservative.